Alright, here we go. Welcome back to Mario Mayhem. I'm Chris. Today we're playing Mario Galaxy 2, which I'm very excited about. Let me test the audio, make sure you can hear me. Okay. Sounds good. Let me know if I can improve it. But I think we're good for now. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the actual stream quality and the frame rate and all that, so just help me out there if you can, if something doesn't look as good as it could. But yeah, today we're playing Mario Galaxy 2, which I'm very excited about, because it's just more Mario Galaxy for me to play. Oh, okay, so this is on my Wii U too. Okay, so I didn't get as far in my file in this one as I did on the Wii U and Mario Galaxy 1, but let's... Okay, yes, I would like to create a new game file. This is a game, I've 100%ed Mario Galaxy 1 twice. Once is Mario, once is Luigi. I don't know, let's just make it Luigi. And then I've 100%ed this game once, because you do the regular playthrough, and then you have to get all the green stars, and that technically counts as just 100%ed file. I really love this game. I know when I talk about Mario Galaxy 1, typically I use this game as a comparison to sort of elevate Mario Galaxy 1 and talk about why that game is so great. So I tend to come down on this game a little bit, but I still think this is a fantastic game, and it's still one of my favorite games ever made. Alright, so I'll talk a little bit more about that once we actually get into the game. So let me tell you a new story that also begins with Stardust. Is it a new story, though? Shimmering Stardust falls down on the Mushroom Kingdom once a century. That time had come again. Would you like to share some cake while we watch the shooting stars? Meet me at the castle, Peach. Yes, okay. It's like Mario 64. The Star Festival had just begun. Toads everywhere were celebrating. So, the thing that's funny about this game's story, is that it either means the resetting of the universe at the end of the last game just put us right back where we were before, or 100 years have passed and everyone in the Mario series is 100 years older. Oh, hey, Gabe. Hey, and there's Bob Ross again. Thank you for hosting me. I was just able to see you for the first time in forever, and that was nice. Oh, there he is. He's dead. He's talking in the joke everyone else has made 100 times. He's talking in PlayStation symbols. The strange little fellow seemed confused. Was he lost? He seemed to take a shine to Mario. Mario's kept filled with warmth as he felt a new power surging through him. I think... So, Game Grumps had been playing through this game, which is kind of what inspired me to want to play the Mario games again. Because I wanted to play this game, but I also wanted to play the rest of them, so I was like, I can make a thing out of it. But I think they also made the joke where, like, when Mario's cap fills with warmth, it's Luma peeing on Mario's head. I don't know. It's funny. My sense of humor, the bar is set very low. Let's get him out of there. I'm free, but where am I? Oh my god, they actually recorded a special voice clip of a Toad saying welcome. He's got a bowl haircut, everybody. Don't be deceived. You talking about me? I do actually have a bowl haircut right now, but I've made that well known in my video where I announced Mario Mayhem, so I haven't really been trying to keep that a secret, Gabe. Oh god, it's Big Bows. Where's the ship? You're too late, Mario. The power of the stars is already mine, and look what else I got. Typical. I'm huge! Even scarier up close, huh? He's like Fun Spot. It's huge! Maybe I'll have Peak bake me something for once. I could sure go for a galaxy-sized slice of cake right now. I'm way too huge for this puny planet. I deserve an empire that's more me-size, and I'll put it in the center of the universe. So I guess nobody remembers? Maybe no one except Mario. No one remembers what happened in the last game. Because Bowser literally did that exact same thing in the last game, and he almost destroyed the entire universe, and everyone was celebrating when it was okay. But I guess he just decided to just do it again in this game. Oh yeah, I don't know, in case you didn't get my reference, I guess outside of Florida, it's kind of niche. Or I don't know, I guess it's very, not, I don't know, I think it's just a local thing, but like, there's a mini sort of locally owned theme park called Fun Spot, here. I think it's a Florida thing, I don't know. But, the guy in the commercials is always like, it's huge! That's sort of like his thing. And then he realized it was his thing, and then he started doing it even more. It's pretty entertaining. Young Master Luma, did you get thrown overboard too? Good thing you're safe. I see, so you're gonna stay in Mario's cap? That should be safe for now. Mario's like, do I have a say in this? But Mario, you have other things to worry about, like saving the princess. But how? You can't worry about taking care of a child. I know, with young Master Luma's help, you can use the power of the stars. And we Lumas can help too. As a thanks for saving our friends, we'll send you into space to get that monster. Now let's go after them. Okay. Here we go. Pee-wee Piranha's temper tantrum. He's very similar. Here I come into space. Our power stars, they're gone. Some gigantic monster stole them. If you're going after that monster, you might see our power stars out there too. Please bring our power stars back. We Lumas will help you along your way. Okay. So, I talked a little bit about this earlier, but I wanna get it out of the way first. So I tend to, whenever I talk about Mario Galaxy 1, hearing you explain Fun Spot as a Floridian is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not something you really think about, Gabe, but, like, we've lived here pretty much our whole lives, and, like, you know, other people outside of Florida probably don't know what I'm talking about when I say it's huge. Everyone in Florida gets it. Okay, anyway, what I was saying was, whenever I talk about Mario Galaxy 1, I tend to compare it to this game a lot, just because, this game is very similar to Galaxy 1 in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's a direct sequel, but it doesn't tend to put as much focus on its story and the atmosphere of it all, which is something I think Mario Galaxy 1 does better. And there's a few other things I think Galaxy 1 does slightly better than this game. But, despite all the comparisons that I make when I talk about it, I don't mean to use that as a way to say that this game is bad, or this game just doesn't match up to it at all. Because I think this game is fantastic. I think in terms of sequels, it's pretty much, I mean, considering, like, you know, they could have done, like, an original Galaxy story again. Like, you know, they could have done something a little different instead of just repeating the same story again. But I think just, honestly, that's something that, like, especially when I was a kid, that never really even crossed my mind. And it's easy to criticize that, but I think just in terms of being more Mario Galaxy, there really isn't much more you could ask for from this game. Like, when I was a kid, you know, stuff that I tended to talk about when I talk about Galaxy 1, you know, obviously I still loved Galaxy 1 for those reasons, but, you know, this game is just, like, as both a sequel to Galaxy and its own game, it's just fantastic. Like, the levels are extremely well designed, the music is fantastic again. They don't really, like, as far as I remember, they don't really use the full orchestral score as much. I think most of the music is still live recorded. But even though it doesn't feel as much like it's like a space adventure as much as Galaxy 1 did, I feel like just in terms of taking the Galaxy engine and just making a fantastic Mario game, this game is amazing. And even though, you know, I prefer Galaxy 1 because of a few things, I still think, I still hold this game in, I think, probably, like, I don't know. It's like, I still hold this game in very high regard. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. And I still love any chance that I get to play it. This is, like, just like Galaxy 1, I revisit this game, like maybe, like, once or twice a year. Just because I still, like, you know, despite the levels not being as inspired by the space theme as Galaxy 1's, I still think this game has a ton of fantastic levels. It almost, to me, feels like a sort of prelude to the 3D Land and 3D World games, in that sense, because it's heading more towards that style of level design. But there was never anything wrong with that style of level design, and this game still, you know, each level has multiple missions and multiple areas to explore, and they're all fun to revisit and that sort of thing. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way up front, just because I know when I talk about, I do praise Galaxy 1 a lot, and when I do that, I tend to say that it does a fair few things better than this game. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this game is worse. It just means that it's different in terms of its tone and presentation. And I prefer the tone and presentation of Galaxy 1, but I still love this game nonetheless. Alright, I think I've worded that enough ways to get my point across. I feel like I've been saying the same thing a little bit. But yeah. I think it's also, like, interesting to think about this game almost like it's similar to Galaxy 1, but, like, remixed in several ways, because, you know, there is aspects like Pee-wee Piranha. He's very similar to Dino Piranha, but he's just slightly different. You know, you could easily think of that as being just, like, lazy and just reusing the basic boss design. But, I also think it's cool to think about it, like, at the end of Galaxy 1, you know, the universe was reset, with slight changes. You know, Rosalina says the cycle never repeats itself in quite the same way. So you could easily look at it as, like, okay, the universe is new now, and it's similar to what it was before, but it's not exactly the same thing. So you're gonna come across bits and pieces from that look similar to something like the last game, but it's not gonna be exactly the same thing. And I think it's better to think about it that way instead of thinking about it as being lazy. Dang, we already got 161 star bits. Well, I mean, I guess that isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things. So you're this Mario guy my Lumas won't stop blabbing about, am I right? Sorry to hear about the excitement you had with that monster down in the Mushroom Kingdom. I always imagine Lubba as having sort of like a New Jersey accent, like New York's, that sort of thing. And I know my voice might not be doing that justice, but that's just what I imagine he sounds like. I sure appreciate you bringing us this Power Star, though. We need as many of these as we can get. The name's Lubba, by the by. I'm the head honcho of this here Luma crew. See, believe it or not, we're on a spaceship right now. Took some real elbow grease to convert this little planetoid into a ship, but we Lumas pulled it off. May not look like much, but it's home. Truth be told, the ship, she's not in such hot shape right now. We ran into that monster, too. He blasted us with meteors, and some of my crew were thrown overboard. So that monster kidnapped your princess, eh? That's cold. Deep space cold, if you ask me. You know what else is cold? That monster stealing every last one of our power stars. See, that's our fuel. Our spaceship runs on energy from stars. Without that, we're stranded here. Hey, yo, is that young Master Luma? It is, isn't it? Wow. Wait, if you have the trust of young Master Luma, Say, I just might have a little proposition for you. Hear me out now. Your special one got kidnapped, and now you gotta save her, am I right? That's right, or yes? Yes, that's right. And we need fuel for our ship. Now, if you think you could get some of our stars back for us, I'd be willing to make this ship your very own for a bit. That's a fair exchange, am I right, Mario? Yes. Alright, it's a deal. Okay, gang, let's get cracking. Yeah, I want everything spaceship shape. Cool. Well, what do you think?
Nice spaceship, yeah? More like a face ship. Well, at least you'll never lose it in a parking lot, am I right? So what's next? Don't look at me. This ship has your face on it, not mine. The decision is yours. Feel free to explore Starship Mario. I skipped the rest by accident. Cool. Even though, you know, just sort of for nostalgia's sake, I sort of prefer the Comet Observatory. I still always really loved Starship Mario as a hub world. I think it's just very novel concept to have the hub world actually shaped like Mario's head. And I remember, like, you know, as a kid watching the announcement trailer for this game and be like, oh my god, there's gonna be a planet shaped like Mario's face. But then it's like, you know, that's the hub world of the game, and that's pretty cool. Playing this game just makes me happy. Like, I've got a wider range of emotions, I guess, towards the first game, but this game just makes me happy. It's very bright and colorful and exciting. I guess the best way to put it, because I keep sort of stumbling over my words when I say that I even though I prefer Galaxy 1 in certain ways, I sort of hold these games in equal regard. I think it's just because I love them, despite how similar they are, I guess I just love them for different reasons, and that's probably the best way to phrase it. So this is the world map, blah 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 blah, I know what to do. Alright. I guess let's go to Yoshi Star, and then we'll go back to Sky Station. I really love that Yoshi's in this game, too. It's a very reasonable. I mean, reasonable makes it sound boring. It's a very fun and addition to the Galaxy formula, and it makes total sense. So it's just a really exciting thing. Yoshi tends to go back and forth. I've realized. I mean, it tends to go back and forth between like being a singular character, like a specific Yoshi, like is the one that that shows up in, like, Mario Party and Mario Kart and that sort of stuff. But the Yoshis, like, I mean, all the Yoshis and the eggs being different Yoshis is sort of, I guess, a concept that was in Mario World that they brought back for this game. Whee! I like that Yoshi has blue eyes. You saved me. I was trying to save my friends, but then I got turned into an egg and trapped. I know, we should team up. Come on, hop on my back. Okay. Just like clockwork, eh, Yoshi? And I guess what I was going for with that thing about, like, how it's cool that they kind of go back to each Yoshi and an egg being like a different Yoshi in this game. I guess part of the cool thing is that, like, Yoshis don't only exist on the Mushroom Planet, they also exist, like, in other regions in space. And you're just, like, traveling to another world and finding a Yoshi. Oh, comet medals. I forgot about those. We're gonna probably... I mean, we probably won't need to collect too many of them, but... I mean, we didn't do too many Prankster Comets in Mario Galaxy 1, but... Still, they're a fun little change of pace every now and then. And this level is a great example of, I did say earlier, they don't use as much of an orchestrated soundtrack as they do in Mario Galaxy 1, but the music is still fantastic, and this is a great example of that, because, you know, it's a very different style of music than something that you would find in a typical Galaxy level, but it still works. And oh, that's satisfying. Whee! Oh yeah, this is the planet I was talking about. This planet, a very similar looking planet was in Good Egg Galaxy. It's one of the Hungry Luma planets in that game. And I don't think it's the exact same planet, but it is very similar. And again, you know, there's two ways to look at it. Whereas, like, on one hand, you could just be like, ah, they were being lazy. They just reused the planet from Galaxy 1. But I tend to prefer to look at it like oh, that's cool. You know, the universe is reset and everything's slightly different now. That's kind of neat. I guess just the more positive way to look at it. Man, this game is a lot of fun. For as epic and grand and atmospheric as Galaxy 1 is, this game is just... It's just pure fun all the way through. And just like Galaxy 1, there's pretty much not a single level in this game that I dislike playing. There's certain ones that I have more of a connection to, and there's certain ones that I go back to more than others, but I don't actually dislike any level in this game, as far as I can remember. I might need to move my Wii sensor bar a little bit, just so that I can pick up the tongue, or the pointer. Oh boy. So, I talked a little bit about this in the Galaxy 1 stream. There's a few... I'm always, like, tend to be, like, really excited. Like, I get myself really hyped up for upcoming Nintendo game releases. And just new game releases in general. But Nintendo's always usually been the one that I've been the most hyped up for. Even though I was always, like, you know... I started out as a PlayStation kid. Like, I just had a PS1 and a PS2. Before I got, like, you know, my Game Boy and my DS Lite and my Wii. As presents. But I played a lot of PlayStation games. And I never really had any sort of attachment to Xbox, but other than like playing Halo at my uncle's house and stuff like that, just that sort of thing. But Nintendo was always the company that I would get the most excited about their upcoming releases. So I used to, I mentioned this last time, the way I got my gaming news in like elementary school and like when I was really young was just basically if there was a game that I liked, I would just search it up in Google followed by a 2 to see if they were making a sequel to it. And most of the time it would just lead me to like fan box art and stuff, and I'd just be like, eh. Like some of it would, I mean, it looks really cool, but like, you know, a lot of times when I was younger I would get tricked by it, but eventually like and be like, oh man, I can't believe they're making Luigi's Mansion for the Wii. But then, like, you know, eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, yeah, most of these are just made by people that know how to replicate box art. And that's actually something I ended up doing myself, too, just because it's fun to imagine fictional games that would be cool if they were real. But one of the only cases where I actually got my wish granted was with Galaxy 2, because I just searched up, you know, I finished Mario Galaxy. It was the first game I ever finished, and I googled Mario Galaxy 2, and by that time I think the release trailer, or the announced trailer for Galaxy 2 was out. The game wasn't out. It was still, like, you know, a little bit of a ways off, but they had announced it, and the announcement trailer was out, and I watched it, and I was so excited. Now that I think of it, I probably actually searched up Galaxy 2 a fair few times before that happened, just because, you know, Galaxy 2 came out, like, a couple years later. But even still, I remember that was, like, the first time I was on, like, a video game hype train for a new release was when Galaxy 2 was coming out. And I was excited about it and watching all the new trailers, and it was just such a magical thing, that my favorite game then, and what is still my favorite game to this day. It was just so cool that it was getting a sequel. Especially since most Mario games don't, you know, every Mario game is sort of a sequel to the last one, but not a lot of Mario games get direct sequels. And it was just really cool that this was one of those games. And I think it, you know, obviously Galaxy 1 deserved a sequel and Nintendo knew it, so I wish direct sequels were something they did more often, like they did it with 3D Land, and I hope they do it with Odyssey, because Odyssey, you know, the mechanics are so it's such a special thing. The mechanics of those games still have a lot of potential. Okay. I think the point of that story, though, was that, like, that was the first time I was, like, ever excited for a game ahead of its actual release. And the two games that, or there's like 3 games that I remember being hyped up like that for. before the release, and it was this game, it was Smash 4, and it was Little Big Planet 2. And Little Big Planet 2 was another one of those games where, like, well, actually, that game is sort of interesting because I did the thing where I googled Little Big Planet 2 to see if they were making it, because I was a huge fan of the first game. And I read this article saying that Little Big Planet was canceled. Or Little Big Planet 2 was canceled. And I was like, I think it was probably like a fan wiki or something that was just making stuff up for no reason. But I would remember being like really sad, like, oh, they were gonna make a Little Big Planet 2, but it was they stopped making it for some reason. But then, and this is how you know how long ago this story happened. I was in a Blockbuster with my grandma. We were renting a movie, and they were playing when we walked in. They were playing the trailer for Little Big Planet 2 on one of the TVs they had in the Blockbuster, and I was so... That was the first time I watched that trailer and knew that Little Big Planet 2 was actually happening, and I was so excited for it. So yeah, I think that game... Shit. I feel like, I don't know, and maybe it's just like a mental thing, but like, I feel like Mario moves slower when he's inside this cylinder than he does in the overworld. But yeah, Mario Galaxy 2, Smash 4, and Little Big Planet 2 were probably the most excited I've ever been for a game, to the point where, like, I was up late at night because I couldn't sleep, because I was so excited for the games, and I was, like, watching all the trailers over and over and over again, and just, like, you know, I just couldn't contain my excitement for those games. And, like, I've been excited for a lot of games before, and it's just, like, you know, when I think back to it, like, to which games I was the most excited for, those are the ones that tend to come up the most often in my mind. Alright, let's get out of here. I want to get out of here. Ooh! I'm glad I wasn't embarrassed, and I'm glad I didn't get shocked and fall down again. Oh yeah, that's something I mentioned last time. In Mario Galaxy 1, the star bits when you're flying from place to place just sort of appear while you're in the sky. There's one time where you smash through a giant star bit and they follow you in Space Junk Galaxy. But this game you always smash through stuff before the star bits form. And it's like, it's cool that they did that, but it also looks like it would really hurt Mario. Oh yeah, this is the game, I mean, Galaxy 1 I guess introduced the Cosmic Clone races, but this game introduced sort of that sort of version of them that was reused in 3D Land, where they follow you and mimic your movements. This is one of my favorite songs in the game, and this is a fun little tidbit for anyone that watches my YouTube channel. A while back I said I was going to do a montage of some of the best games of the decade, and I ended up not making it just because it was taking a really long time and I wasn't really satisfied with how it was turning out, and I knew it was going to take forever, and by the time it was done it probably wouldn't even be relevant anymore, so I just didn't make it. But I had started making it, and for, you know, it was separated by year, and each year was going to have its own song, and this was the song that I used for 2010, because 2010 is the year Mario Galaxy 2 came out. I think it was very fitting, and I was happy with some of my edits for that video. I just knew, like, you know, it was just going to take a long time, and it wasn't a super fun project to edit, because it was essentially just getting clips from random gameplay and trailers from like 100 different games and just snipping them all together. It wasn't a very creatively fulfilling project, I guess, is the best way to go about describing it. Wish I could give you more help than just cheering from the sidelines. You know, another friend. Oh yeah, the most dumbed down multiplayer mode ever. It sucks that, like, I mean, I guess it's cool that technically there's a 2-player mode, but, like, you know, just the fact that, like, they instead of just putting Luigi in as another playable... Well, I mean, you can play as Luigi, but you can't do 2 people at a time with one person playing as Luigi. They have to be, like, the co-star, and they can barely do anything. And it's just, like, at that point, it's, like, the only people that are going to be into that are people that have, like, never played a game in their life, and even they would probably find it pretty boring. I do think it's at least good that they added a character model to it in this game, because you can do it in Galaxy 1, too. But it's just another star pointer. It's not like, you know, they actually give the other player a Luma character to move around a little bit. Also, before I leave, I wanted to point out, this is another thing that sort of removes it from the space vibe, I guess. It's just that there's seagulls flying around. And, you know, there's, like, the blue sky and everything, but, like, just the fact that there's just random birds flying around, it's like, you know, it doesn't really feel like we're in space. It's just, like, a big sky realm, I guess. There are certain levels in this game that do feel like sort of their own galaxies, reminiscent of something like you would find in Galaxy 1. But more often than not, I feel like this game mostly just takes advantage of Galaxy's engine and mechanics to make fun Mario levels, instead of trying to go all out with the space theme like Galaxy 1 did. Alright, I think he's gonna be like the flip switch galaxy. Or flip swap galaxy, I think is what it's called in this game. Flip switch galaxy is the name of a galaxy in Galaxy 1 that I don't really remember. Oh wait, yeah, you know what? Flip switch galaxy is the galaxy that's just like the blue panels that you step on that turn yellow and then green when you get them all. That's what the flip switches are. And these are flip panels, because they couldn't call them flip switches because they already had that. This is a cool mechanic, too. Again, you know, a good example of Galaxy 2 taking Galaxy 1's mechanics and using them to make new and creative levels. Because it's like, you know, shaking is such an integral part of Galaxy 1, but in this game, they're like, you know, what if, you know, flipping actually had an effect on the level layout as a whole? And I think it's actually possible to get through this entire level without spinning. I think actually that's what I'm gonna try to do, just to sort of challenge myself. I think I have done it before. Yeah. I think it's kind of cool too. They have the crystal at the beginning that you instinctively shake, and then it shows you that the panels flip over before you jump onto them, just so that you know. It'd be cool if there was like something like Crash Bandicoot where you get a secret for not flipping at all in this level, sort of like the blue gem in Crash Bandicoot that you get from not hitting any boxes in the level. Oh, we're almost there. Nice. I did technically spin once at the beginning, but we made it through that whole main section of the level without spinning once. I think that's a pretty cool feat. Oh, did we invite someone to the ship? Did we invite a Star Bunny to the ship? You brought back a Star Bunny? Heh. Know the one thing in Galaxy cuter than one of those? Nothing, that's what. Did I get you with that one? Actually, I would, not to say that Star Bunnies aren't cute, but I think Lumas themselves are the cutest thing in the galaxy, but they're humble beings. So, how do you think I jump so high, boy-oing? Yeah. I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah. I think it's kind of cool in this game that, you know, the Lumas in Galaxy 1 are all sort of presented sort of like children. You know, they're all like Rosalina's babies and stuff, and she takes care of them. But I also think it's cool that this game introduces the idea that there's just other Lumas in the galaxy, and like they sort of form their own bonds and teams, and like they explore the cosmos on their own, like Lubba did with Starship Mario. I mean, obviously, I think the other Lumas on Starship Mario are younger than Lubba, just based on their appearance. But you know, and you know, at the end of the game, it's shown that like Lubba did used to live on the Comet Observatory with Rosalina, but you know, I think it's cool that like, you know, he's just like in the first game, it's just sort of like, you know, oh, they're children, and then eventually they'll turn into like stars and planets and that sort of thing. But there's also just Lumas that go about living their lives just like as a starship crew, and I think that's really cool. All right, where's that spin drill? This is a really cool mechanic. I think it's a very satisfying mechanic too, like drilling through the dirt. Oh, sorry. Ah, how did you get up here? I used the central mechanic of the level, thank you very much. Honestly, now that I think about it, because I have spent a lot of time, I think the Galaxy games are by far the Mario games that I've spent the most time in. Just like collecting all the stars and getting every secret and stuff like that. But I think I might even have more time in Galaxy 2 than Galaxy 1. Just because, oh wait, yeah, I gotta go start here. Just because, you know, obviously 100%ing the game takes longer because of the green stars and stuff. Well, I mean, actually, maybe not, because, you know, 100%ing Galaxy 1 is literally just playing 100%ing the entire game again with Luigi. But I guess if you don't count that, then, yeah, Galaxy 2 takes longer. And it has, like, the bonus world and stuff like that. But yeah, I think, a little bit, just because Galaxy 1 has a certain atmosphere to it, I feel like there's times where I get in the mood to play that game, and I think I probably revisit this game a little bit more often, just because it is very much just sort of an easier pick up and play style Mario game with levels that are more reminiscent of stuff like 3D Land and 3D World, which are very much pick up and play games. Plus, again, it just makes me happy. Just the whole vibe of this game. There's a few levels that are like super relaxed, or like a few levels that are darker than the other ones, but like, you know, for the most part, this game is a pretty happy game. And that's, you know, it's another one of my video game happy places, I guess. That's cute. They didn't even like little details. I love little details like that, like where he's just like, he didn't have to do that. Like, he could have just been standing there waiting for you, but you get there, and there's nothing there, and he's like, hey, wait for me! Like, it just adds character to the world. Nintendo knows what they're doing, man. Oh, man. I'm beginning to realize, again, yet again, I've forgotten to get a cup of water. There's always... there's always one thing, at least, I forget. I always either forget to plug in my computer or bring a cup of water with me. I never forget to check the audio now because of that one thing, but the one Mario 2 mishap, but... It's you, Mario, right? Like our new ship, it's called a Starsroom. Like, I'm tempted to do a Toad voice, but I know it hurts my throat and I don't have a water.
We're shoving off soon.
Fine. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. I found this nifty little headlamp, so I'm now the Toad Brigade captain. There's a pretty scary monster just past here. Be careful.
I should probably go get a cup of water after this level. Probably don't need it, but whatever. I'll just buy a mushroom. And again, it is a little bit weird that he transforms into the item that you eat instead of just giving one to you. The exact meaning behind a Luma transforming is still a little bit vague. Uh-oh. I always thought that Dig-a-Leg looks like a smaller version of Mega Leg from Galaxy 1. And that honestly, now that I'm saying both of their names like one right after the other, that was probably intentional. But I remember like seeing the first trailer that had Dig-a-Leg in it and being like, "Oh, cool. It's like, yet another thing where like, the Galaxy is similar in certain ways, but also like slightly different in other ways." And this is another example of like, oh, Mega Leg is Dig-a-Leg now. I think that's pretty cool. Come on, turn around. Stop pooping out babies. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's it for you. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't really need that extra mushroom. I'm just thinking about... Oh, did I already invite another resident to the starship? Cool. Who is it this time? One of my favorite little guys is back. I wonder what's happening. Oh, it's one of the crew members. He built a ship to get back, huh? That's my crew for you. Those guys are all friends of yours, right? That's cool. It's like they just found each other and then they worked together to get back. That's neat. What does this guy have to say? Who's the one toad that's sleeping all the time? I don't remember if he's in this game again or not. But I thought I remember it being the yellow toad. I'm not gonna narrate that. I need to... Let's see what he has to say.
When that monster did its sin, I fell to the ground in front of that castle. Your friends wanted to help find all the power stars, so Lumas all pulled together and built this ship to get them here.
Cool. It looks exactly like the one from Galaxy 1. That's crazy. History is repeating itself. But the cycle never repeats itself in quite the same way. I think it's kind of cool, that, just in general, because this game did sort of start out as an expansion pack called Super Mario, I think it was like Super Mario Galaxy More or More Super Mario Galaxy. I think it's cool when a game starts out like that and then becomes like a full-fledged game, because it just means that the game creators are like, they've got enough cool ideas. They've got enough cool ideas to warrant making an entirely new game. Like they did that with like Uncharted, and I think they did that with Hollow Knight. I just think that's a neat thing, because you can tell that when that happens, the people behind it are passionate about the game they're making. And I guess, on the other end of that, it's easy to say, oh, they just want more money. They want to put a bigger price tag on it. But, you can't sell a game like that unless... you can't sell a game separately like that unless the package is substantial. And I think pretty much most game developers understand that. So, I don't really think that's a valid concern when it comes to stuff like that. Plus, it's just like, even if that wasn't the initial, even if they surpassed the initial plan for the DLC, just the fact that, like, you would get another game in that series is usually pretty exciting. I really like this level. Especially just because, I have said I really like side-scrolling sections in 3D Mario games. Just because it's cool to be able to use all the moves that you have in an environment like this. Oh, this is the trash clearing level, isn't it? Alright, I guess we'll do this one and then... Oh, no, it's not. Maybe it is, though. Oh, you know what? I think there's another pipe in this level that... Oh, it's... Oh, you know what? It's probably in here. Yeah. Why did they... I don't know why they did another mission like this in Galaxy 2. Because even though, once you know how to do it, the trash cleaner mission in the first game wasn't that hard. It's just, you know, it wasn't ever really a fun thing, so... Did I only miss 2 boxes? Holy shit. Alright, fuck it. Nope. I'm doing the rest of the level because I think this level is actually fun. And I want to go to Cloudy Court and then we're going to move on, so I don't want to not play the rest of this level. And I would much rather play the rest of this level than do the trash cleaning mission, so that's what we're going to do. Ooh. I've been waiting for Game Grumps to keep playing this game. Just because I really liked their playthrough of Galaxy 1. I've been listening and watching a lot of Game Grumps compilations recently just because, you know, it's a nice thing to have on in the background while I'm working on something. It's not something I have to pay too much attention to. But I you know, I enjoy listening to Dan and Aaron talk about whatever. They're just a couple of really cool guys. And they started playing Galaxy 2 when quarantine started, but they haven't played it in a while. And it's cool that they're revisiting Link Between Worlds. But I also really want to see them finish this game, and I just hope that them switching to that game doesn't make them abandon Galaxy 2, because they never finished Odyssey, and like they finished Odyssey on stream, but I don't think Dan was there, and it's like the main reason I wanted them to finish Odyssey was because I wanted to see Dan's reaction to the ending. So that was kind of a letdown. But Galaxy 2 is really fun and cool, and they're also, Dan and Aaron are a couple of really fun, cool guys, so I hope that they end up finishing it. Okay. This is one of those cases where I feel like the time limit on the power-up isn't really necessary, because they're just going to keep throwing, like, you know, obviously the power-ups were timed in Galaxy 1, and certain parts of the levels were designed around having a limited amount of time, but especially in this game, you know, they just keep giving you more fire flowers to use, so, like, limiting the amount of time you have to use the fire flower is kind of pointless. So... I mean, I would be okay with, like, not being able to take the power-up with you out of the level, because that would kind of, you know, break the mechanics of certain other levels, but, you know, it just, in levels like this, it just doesn't really make much sense to take away the fire flower, especially if you're just going to keep throwing more fire flowers at the player. Oh, here's Sleepy Toad. I thought it was the yellow one. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna go run and get a cup of water real quick. Because I'm starting to feel a little parched. So I'm gonna go run and do that real quick, and I will be back in, like, 2 seconds, hopefully. Not literally, but, We'll inch there one day at a time, the more breaks I take. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Alright, hello again. Beverage acquired. Let's do this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna readjust my sensor bar too, because it's been having a little bit of a hard time picking up my Wii Remote. I only moved it a little bit, but hopefully that little bit makes all the difference. Hopefully by next stream I remember too to switch out the chairs, because I have two of the exact same chair, but one is in my room and one is in this room. And for some reason, even though they're the exact same chair, the one I'm sitting in right now squeaks a lot more than the other one. I guess just sort of a byproduct of how it was built, I guess, but yeah, the other one doesn't squeak at all, so I think that would be much better for future content if I just stuck to using the one that doesn't squeak and then just use this one in my room. Because I don't mind the squeak, but I know it's probably annoying to be in the background of the streams and whatever other videos that I make, and sometimes the podcast. Oh yeah, speaking of which, usually there would be a podcast episode going out today, but I think we're gonna probably put it off. Partially just because there isn't much to talk about. You know, there's always a little bit of entertainment news scattered throughout each week, and I'm sure we could drum up topics to discuss if we wanted to. I just don't think I can't speak for everyone else, Gabe and Nick and probably Tristan, because Tristan's been joining us a lot since we've been doing it digitally, but yeah, I mean, I can't really speak for them, but you know, it just hasn't really been the podcast, as much as I love doing it, just it hasn't really been on the forefront of my mind this week. I haven't really felt like there's a lot that's been pushing towards making it that I want to really talk about. The only thing, you know, we talk about what we've been playing and watching, and I've only really been watching one show, and I've been playing all the Mario games. And of course, you know, I could talk about that on the podcast, but I also feel like I've talked about it like the last few episodes of the podcast we've done. And, you know, again, I can't speak for everyone else, but I feel like after a certain point, even though we only do the podcast every couple weeks, just talking about the same stuff every week on the podcast just would become redundant, if it didn't really change from week to week. We'll still do the podcast sometime soon, because I do enjoy doing the podcast, and it doesn't take, I mean, I do say it doesn't take very long to edit, but you know, I usually dedicate most of the time I'm awake in a day to editing and uploading the podcast. So well, I don't know, we'll see. We'll sort of play it by ear, I guess, me and the guys. But yeah, I'm just worried about becoming redundant and just talking about the same stuff over and over again if we did a podcast this week. So there hasn't really been a lot pushing me towards being like, okay, we gotta record, I've got stuff to talk about, because I don't really have stuff to talk about. Okay. Here they come. They used to scare me as a kid. Now I just think they're sort of silly, the cosmic clones. Just because of their laugh and everything. Oh yeah, let me get the comet medal too. Easy. Oh, there's a hungry guy. I'm sure oh yeah, you know what? I remember how to get to him. If we need extra stars, we'll come back to this place, I'm sure. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind, I guess. Oh my god, look at him! He's amazing! Leafy hint, press B, shoot star bits. I love the Whittles so much. That's what he is, in case you were unaware. It's my favorite of the new character designs in this game. There aren't too many new character designs in this game. Like, a lot of stuff is pulled from Galaxy 1 and other Mario games, but in terms of the ones they do introduce in this game, the Whittles are definitely my favorite. And
I wish that they came back more often. Like, I want to be able to play as a Whittle in Mario Kart, or like, you know, Mario Party or stuff like that, or like at least have stages with the Whittles in them, like present as characters, because they're a really cool character design, and I think they're really underrated characters in Mario. I'd love to see them like in a Mario RPG too, like as a partner or something, even though they don't really do partners anymore. Whoa, it's you. Good work getting up here. They call me the Chimp. Seems like you may be a worthy high-climbing rival. Take this star. We'll talk later. Why does everyone in this game feel it? Why do I feel like everyone in this game has a New York accent? Oh boy. Whoa. We've reached Count Bleck's lair. I think another thing that contributes to sort of the pick up and play feel of this game is that you get like a clear time for every level. Because, like, you know, Mario games, especially 3D ones, typically encourage you to take your time and explore and stuff. And this game still does that, but it also is like, you know, hey, you know, see if you can beat your time, see if you can get through the level faster. Alright, listen up, because I don't want to say this more than once. See that Toad? He started collecting star bits for safekeeping. Think he's some sort of happy bank or something. Why don't you go over there and check it out for me? The way that Lubba said I don't want to repeat myself makes me think that he thinks that Toad is shady. Look at that! I see you brought back some kind of floaty souvenir. It's a cloud flower? Wow, there sure is some weird stuff out there, huh? Oh yeah, I didn't even really talk about the cloud flower that whole level because I was talking about my own anecdotes and stuff. I think the cloud flower is a really amazing power-up, and I think it's one of the best ones in the Galaxy series, specifically because it's not timed. It's just, you know, I mean, it is sort of like a thing where, like, you know, you get the clouds, and then after you have 3, you need to get another cloud flower to refill. But I still think it's better in the sense that you can create the clouds at your own pace. And when you run out of clouds, you still have the cloud costume on, so you still technically have the power-up, which I think is better than just getting rid of it after a certain time period. Makes it feel a little bit less, even though the cloud flower is very much a situational power-up, it just makes it feel less limited, I guess. God, I love the boss level designs in the Mario Galaxy games. Look at those statues of Bowser Jr. God, I love that Nintendo is sort of like, you know, very much like, you know, been an advocate for like Bowser and Bowser Jr. having like a father-son relationship. Like, they don't really try to just dumb down. It's like, you know, Bowser Jr. is just another generic enemy. Like, you know, they very much imply like, you know, oh, Bowser Jr. wants to be like his dad, and his dad gives him responsibilities, and like, you know, Bowser Jr. doesn't always get it right, but Bowser still loves his kid nonetheless. I think that's a very wholesome thing. Even though they're both terrorists. Like, especially like, you know, in like games like Mario and Rabbids, when like Bowser Jr. comes and interrupts, and then he gets a call from Bowser like, you know, oh, you know, pop him in the middle of something right now. Or like, you know, there's a similar sort of thing in Mario and Luigi Paper Jam when Bowser Jr. meets Paper Bowser Jr. and they become friends, and like, it's funny because like, meanwhile Bowser is like, he has a rivalry with his paper counterpart, but Bowser Jr. and his paper counterpart are both like, if we destroy the book, we can be friends forever. I just think that's I just like that they haven't tried to dumb down that dynamic, even when the Mario games get a little simpler. Oh god. Alright. Hopefully this will be yet another boss I can do on my first try. There he is. That looks pretty comfy. Made it this far, huh? As a kid, I always wanted something like that. Just like a little floating room with a cushion in it. I won't need my dad's help to finish you off. I got a big surprise for you. Oh, Gobblegut, dinner's on. Don't forget to protect your bellyache bulges. He's like, you didn't have to tell me his weakness. You could have just said, Gobblegut, eat this fucker. He's tried to kill my dad on several occasions. Gobblegut sounds like he needs a glass of water. He sounds like me on stream when I need a glass of water. Alright, let's do this. Come on. Make your move. Easy. Something about the way his body is lit makes him look very moist. Like almost like in a gross way. like he just looks like he's like sweaty. Oh god. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Last one. Last one. Oh, come on. No. Oh, come on. We almost had a near flawless victory. All right. Let's be careful. Yeah, there we go. Easy. You didn't really expect to fight me without any arms, did you? I love the updated Grand Star theme too. Okay, wait, I'm testing the audio again. Okay, I was panicking for a second because my stream manager is on a delay, and I thought that maybe I had forgotten to unmute myself again, because I just wasn't talking for a while. Okay, I just want to make sure that, okay, you can hear me, and also, I don't want the audio to be echoey, so I think I'm going to turn the game down on my TV a little bit. Yeah. Alright, even in the other streams, I never really, you know, I watched them back. I didn't think the echo was that bad, but it's still noticeable, so I'm trying to mitigate that as much as possible, just so that it's not annoying to listen back to. Because I do very much want to hear this game, but there isn't much I can do about that, because then, you know, there isn't really much of a way for me to plug my headphones into the system, or, like, my TV, so, I just, you know, I want to hear the music, but I also want you guys to hear it and not have too much of an echo, so I just have to turn it down a little bit. Through space and time to an unknown world we go. I'm jiggling just thinking about it. You're jiggling all the time, Lubba. Who are you kidding? Whee! Here we go! I always thought it was a little weird how each level is a galaxy, but then each collection of galaxies is a world. It seems like a little bit of a step down in terms of galactic proportions. Then again, you know, it's not like they can really call everything, like, after, like, you know, removed from a galaxy, the next step up is the universe. I mean, I think they could call them, like, clusters of galaxies, I guess, but, you know, doesn't quite roll off the tongue as well as just world does, so I guess it makes sense. Oh, here we are. This is one of my favorite levels. I love Puzzle Plank Galaxy. It's a very different vibe than, you know, a lot of the stuff I praise in Galaxy 1, but, you know, it does sort of, you know, like, tie into that thing where just, like, this game
playing this game just makes me really happy. And this is one of the happiest, luckiest levels in this game. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the music. The Whittles, I think this is like supposed to be like their home. No, I think Tall Trunk is actually supposed to be the main home of the Whittles, but just, you know, I just really like those characters, and they show up here too. And I just in general, I just really love this level. Like the wood, I like the wooden cutout feel of everything. Feels like sort of the galactic countryside, I guess. Oh wow. I didn't even remember that was the right one. I just did it on my first try. Alright, so we could ground pound the other stuff, but we could also just do that. Seasoned Galaxy players know the classic launch star shortcut. Oh god. Yeah, I really like this mechanic of, like, the buzzsaws sort of, like, cutting up the level as you play. It's especially for a level based around, like, wood carving and stuff, it makes a lot of sense. This game, in general, has a lot of really creative mechanics, and I think this level is a really good example of that. So use something helpful for only 30 star bits. Nah. Stop by again later. Nah, I don't think I will. I don't think I'm gonna need a mushroom of any kind for this fight. It's a pretty easy fight. Because it is just a repeat of a thing from Galaxy 1. Yay! Oh, here he comes. And he's got his baby back, too. That is pretty dark. Like, obviously he attacks you for no reason, but you also... I mean, maybe it's a her, because it has a baby, but... You also... You kill its baby. And... It's not cool. But we're gonna celebrate anyway. I mentioned this in the last stream too. But his Wahoo, when he gets a star in this game, it almost feels like it's being like, it has some sort of like filter over it, and I can't tell whether it's just like a sort of low quality filter to make it seem like he's like phoning back a space through like a radio or something, like a sort of like, you know, like radio to Houston or something like that. But it's like I have no idea whether it's that or whether they just had a low quality version of the sound clip and didn't realize. There's a few changes to the world map. Like what? Just new places to go, or? Oh yeah, just zoom out. The grand world map. I like the idea that World 1 is just like the mushroom planet and the surrounding planetoids, because that is very much what it seems like, especially when you look at the grand world map. It looks like it's like, you know, an Earth-like planet and the little tiny planets surrounding it. But also, you know, at the end of Galaxy 1, it zooms out and there's a lot of planetoids surrounding the mushroom planet, so I'm tempted to just call it Earth. But I think it has been I mean, I don't know if they've really established it. I don't know how deep into Mario lore they go, but I don't think Mario takes place on Earth, is what I'm trying to say. We do know that Earth exists in the Nintendo universe, though, because Pikmin takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth. So, which I think is cool, especially because, like, Pikmin 2 has, like, product placement in it. Like, Pikmin 2 has, like, a Duracell battery in the first level, and it's like, oh, okay. So this is just
Earth, but you know, every human is dead and things evolved and stuff. And I think that's, especially for a Nintendo game, I think that's a really cool idea, because it doesn't seem like something they would typically do, because it is a pretty dark concept, but also sort of like, it's a very interesting one. It's just not a typical thing where it's like, oh, it's just a fantastical world. It's like, no, it's the real world, but it's been such a long time since humans lived on it, so everything is different, and you're very small compared to a traditional human. I think that's a really cool idea. I really want them to make another Pikmin game. Miyamoto said Pikmin 4 was almost done, like, freaking years ago. Like I think a year after Pikmin 3 came out. He was like, yeah, Pikmin 4 is almost done, and it's like, you know, it is a very Miyamoto thing to say something like that when it's not really entirely true. He tends to get ahead of himself when he says some stuff like that to the press. But still, you would think, with him saying it's almost done, like, 5 or 6 years ago, that it would at least have been officially announced by now. But it hasn't shown up yet, and it's just very confusing. Like, it's been such a long time since Pikmin 3 came out, so I just can't help but wonder. I really didn't think that we were gonna have such a gigantic gap between 3 and 4 again after the gigantic gap between 2 and 3. But I guess that's gonna be the case. I still haven't finished 1 and 2 though, so maybe I should do that before Pikmin 4 comes out. I really loved 3. And I I played 1 first, and I didn't really, like... I played it when I was a kid, and I don't think I was ready for that type of game when I was a kid. Just, like, the timer and, like, the stakes of every encounter, you know, losing all your Pikmin, that sort of stressed me out. And the fact that you could literally lose the entire game if you didn't beat it in a certain amount of time stressed me out. But Pikmin 3, I skipped to, because when I was, like, 12 years old, Pikmin 3 was announced, and it looked amazing, and I was very much into that game. I played that game, I loved it, and I think it just hit me at a better time in my life when I was more prepared for that sort of RTS style game. And then I went back and I played Pikmin 1, and I got Pikmin 2 finally, which Nick actually gave to me as a birthday present, so Nick, if you're watching this, thanks again for that. Yeah, I haven't finished either of one of those games for some reason, even though I love Pikmin 3 to death. So, I complain about Pikmin 4 not being announced, but I haven't finished the first 2 games, so I should probably do that before I complain that Pikmin 4 still isn't out. It's just weird that they announced it. Well, I mean, they didn't even really announce it. It was just Miyamoto saying, like, oh yeah, you know, it's almost done. And me even saying it like that makes me think that maybe he was, like, teasing a little bit. But, you know, that's something we take pretty seriously when you talk about a game that we all want. Miyamoto. I'm talking to you now, I guess. But yeah, you know, when the gaming public, when we want a game, when we're excited about a potential future game, and you've talked about it a really long time ago, and then it just disappears out of existence, we begin to wonder where it is. So, yeah, it's just, despite the fact that I haven't finished the other games, it's just confusing that Pikmin 4 hasn't even had a trailer yet. I'm sure we'll get one eventually, but when that happens, I guess it just remains to be seen. Oh, he's a big boy. This is one of my favorite levels in this game too. Especially just because it is essentially, despite being called a galaxy, it is essentially just one big planet with a little... It has some surrounding planetoids, but I really like the idea that it's just, like, one big water planet that the penguins live on and stuff like that. Because the penguins sort of just existed on, like, little tiny, you know, floating bodies of water and stuff like that before in the Mario Galaxy games. But this actually feels more like an actual planet. And I think that's cool. And, like, you know, Mario Galaxy 2 tends to stick to more 3D Land, 3D World style level design in terms of the linear missions, but this one definitely feels more like something out of Galaxy 1, where it does feel more lived in, I guess, more like a real place in space that people could live. And like not to say that Galaxy 1's galaxies were like realistic and like could be lived in a lot of the time, but like, you know, they just feel more like they belong in a game about space, you know. And this is very much one of those levels, so I really appreciate that. Plus it's very calming, like the music is really relaxing, and just the whole vibe of it is very, very chill, and I really like that. I think we have enough Starbits for that Hungry Luma now. Alright, let's see. I wonder how many stars you need to finish this game. Because Galaxy 1 surprised me because I didn't remember. I thought you needed 70 to finish it, but you only need 60. And then Mario Sunshine surprised me because I thought you needed 70 in that one, but you only need to finish all the Shadow Mario chases. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how many stars we're going to end up needing before we can fight the final boss. But we're already almost to World 3, so we're making pretty speedy progress, I would say. And of course, we're gonna hit roadblocks. We're gonna have to go back and go to some of the older levels to get some extra stars in certain cases. Like I think we're definitely gonna have to go back to some older levels now because we need like 16 stars and we have 11. But just the fact that we're already, like, you know, we've already progressed to the end of the line in World 2, I think maybe means... I think it bodes well for our completion time for this game, I think. Will you fly with Fluzzard? Yeah, sure, I need the star. Oh my god. We just, like, teleported. Keep it flat. Yeah, I know how to do this. Let me do it. Let me fly this this Muppet-looking bird. I'm tilting it all the way. Oh, point down. I thought I was supposed to be turning to the right. The big sun? You mean the shine sprite? All right, let's do this. I always liked this. Like, not a lot of people... I mean, a lot of people I've watched play this game tend to complain about the motion control segments in the Galaxy games. Like, you know, like Loop-de-Loop in the first game, and like the ball rolling segments, and this bird. I think out of all of them, the bird is probably my favorite, just because I really like the environment. Like, I really like this planet, the Wild Glide planet. And I really like the music. I think that helps a lot for my enjoyment. Also, flying around in a big open space is fun. And you know, if they weren't going to bring back the red star from Galaxy 1, which I feel like is a huge missed opportunity, I feel like this is a pretty good replacement for that in terms of a flying section. And also, you know, like I said, flying around in a big open space, it feels like, even though the controls do feel precise, it doesn't feel like as much as riding on the motion controls, because you have more wiggle room to make mistakes. Cool. Man, I really wish you got to run around in that level. I really like that level's environment and music. Alright, we've got 12. We need 4 more. And as far as I remember, I think this game has 6 main worlds. So if we can beat up through World 3 today, we'll be halfway done. Which is pretty wild.
because we tended to beat the other games in thirds. But we're already almost to World 3 after an hour and a half. And I think we can probably get through World 3 today. So yeah, maybe we will finish this game faster than Galaxy 1. I don't know. Yeah, let's do the second mission in Cosmic Cove. I really like that level. Exploring the Cosmic Cavern. Yeah, Cosmic Cove, I feel like a lot of, like, even in Mario Galaxy 1, in both games, I feel like there's galaxies that I really like, but a lot of them, like, I like one specific mission, and that's the one that I'll replay the most. But Cosmic Cove is one of those levels, honestly, it's probably in my top 5 Galaxy levels, like, in terms of Galaxy 1 and 2, because I like pretty much every mission here, and I really like returning to this level in general. So I think it's fair to say that it's in my top 5. I don't know what my other top 5 would be. I think Good Egg, Melty Molten are up there. I'd have to think about it though if I was to give a definitive ranking. And I honestly don't think I could give a definitive ranking just because I love both of these games so much. So, you know, ranking them, like, I feel like it would change. The more I think about it, I would be like, you know, oh yeah, okay, these are my top 5, and then I would remember another level and be like, oh wait, no, what about this one? Like, you know, this is one of my favorite levels, or like, you know, it would just constantly, it'd just be a whole, like, emotional project just to figure out which ones I like the most, because I like so many of them. And it's sort of also, like, asking me about my favorite games of all time, because I can easily tell you a group of all the games that I love the most, but in terms of how highly each one ranks, in terms of which ones I like the most, like a top 10 or top 5 list, other than Mario Galaxy 1 being at the top, I probably couldn't tell you like what my ranking would be, because honestly, like, I'm the type of person that would sort of try to keep that list varied, just so that it doesn't seem like I'm, like, you know, only ever into one franchise. But honestly, like, you know, if you ask me on certain specific days, like, Mario Galaxy 2 is probably also in my top 5, and it might even be number 2, I don't know. Super Paper Mario might be up there. You know, both of the, like, you know, the first 2 Little Big Planet games, even Little Big Planet 3 to an extent is, like, up there. It's a really difficult thing for me to break down, because there's so many different ways to look at how you can structure a list of your favorite games of all time. And I just love so many games so much to the point where, like, it's very hard for me to, I mean, I can easily say that I love them all and recommend them to people, but I cannot, for the life of me, decide which ones I like more than the others. Except for Mario Galaxy 1, just because I have such an incredibly strong attachment to it. I think, you know, there are certain days where I, like, doubt it, but I think, for the most part, that's always going to be my favorite game of all time. I really like this mechanic. Like, it's a cool sort of space mechanic of having, like, you know, like, blocks of water, like, floating around. It reminds me of, like, when astronauts, like, on the space station take videos of them, like, drinking bubbles of water. It does make, okay, why is, I think my nunchuck might, okay. That was a little weird. I kept jumping in the opposite direction. I think I thought something was wrong with my nunchuck stick, but I don't know. Maybe it was just a momentary error. What do you have to say, Captain Toad?
Well, it's on vacation. I can't even go swimming because everything is frozen.
This isn't a fucking vacation, dude. You took a vacation in the last game, too. The fate of the entire universe is at stake, and you want to fucking relax.
Jeez. I'm sorry I yelled at you, Captain Toad. I know you can't jump, so there isn't that much you can do anyway, but still, you're supposed to be helping me out, man. Like, Luigi, he gets tired after collecting 3 stars, but at least he collects 3 stars, you know? Even though I have to go rescue him. On second thought, Luigi is helpless too. Luigi is just a lost cause. I still love him, though. He's still one of my favorite video game characters of all time. I still have a statue of him on my desk that my girlfriend was nice enough to gift me because she's the best. Oh, God. These guys come back in 3D World, which I think is interesting. They're a little bit more square in 3D World, I guess, so they fit onto a little bit more of a grid. And they fit more into, like, a grid-style level design. But I still think it's cool that, you know... And the Octogoombas come back. I think that they're only in 1 level, like in one of the bonus worlds. I just think it's cool that enemies and certain things from Galaxy 2 and Galaxy 1 come back in some of the next games. Alright. Oh yeah, we gotta kill all these Mecha Koopas. I don't think there's actually a specific one that has the key. I think you're just supposed to get rid of them all, and then the last one will always have the key. Kind of like how in Mario Galaxy 1 in the first level, there's that Goomba planet, and one of the Goombas has the key, but the one that has the key won't show up unless you defeat all the other ones. It's just one of those things. Very cool. I imagine this water is probably very, very cold, too, because it's just in the middle of space. And this level is constantly at nighttime. Alright. 3 more and we can get to World 3. That Toad came back with you, right? He sure loves delivering mail. Oh, Mail Toad's here. Go ahead and humor him. Like, he's not a real mailman, but you might as well treat him like he is. A sassy penguin aboard the starship? Oh boy. There he is. He's like, what if he was the same one from 64? He's like, hey, remember when you delivered me to my mom? Now I'm stuck in space. Shake it. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a tea set here. That's cute. There's just residents living here. What does this guy have to say? I'm curious. When you want to quit, press minus or plus and choose save and quit. On a long trip like this, be sure to take breaks from time to time. Yeah, I guess that's interesting to think about, that this is probably, just like Galaxy 1, this is probably taking place over several weeks or months, even though we can beat it in like 6 hours. My first letter's for you. I don't understand how she sends letters from being held captive, but, yep, she's right, we're on the way. Alright, let's see what galaxy this guy unlocks. I think it's like this game's version of the Honey Hive Galaxy. Alright, wow, yeah, let me feed you. In my original Mario Galaxy 2 file, I have 9,999 starbits, both in the bank and in my pockets.
Transform
into a whole other universe. Yep. Just as I suspected. There is a B level, I think, later on that's a little bit more fleshed out than this one. But I still like Honeybloom Galaxy. I like side-scrolling levels in Mario Galaxy. What can I say? Except for that same phrase over and over again. I like side-scrolling levels in Mario Galaxy. I love the bee mushroom. Even though it's maybe not the most exciting power-up, I just love the bee suit.
I remember playing the Minecraft Super Mario map and getting the bee suit and just being so excited, like, yes, I get to be Bee Mario. I don't know, there's just something so charming about it. There's something so charming about Mario being, like, just dressing up in animal suits. And I know nowadays it's easy to be like, haha, Mario's a furry, but, like, no. Not that there's anything wrong with being a furry, but I just dislike the idea of bringing into these children's games that Mario is sexually attracted to animals or identifies as an animal, I guess. But if you're a furry, that's totally cool, man. I'm totally cool with that. Alright, I think there's a secret star up here. Easy. And then we can go back and do the actual level. I love how the name of that mission is just the secret wall jump. Looks like we have a bee on board. Yes! Oh no, he's allergic. Do you think he knows any good bee tricks? Let's go find out. What do you have to say for yourself, bee? Oh, he says bee. Oh, hey, Austin. Thanks for watching. And yeah, dude, no, you're totally cool. You're the shining star of the community, as far as I'm concerned. Bet you'd like to know our secret. When we get coins in the air, we can fly farther. Oh, yeah. Coins are just sort of a lifeblood sort of thing. Like, you know, you can... I always thought that was funny that, like, if you're close to death, you can get a coin, and just the fact of earning currency just makes you better. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I gotta deal with something real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. And for some reason, I feel like while I was gone, it got way hotter in here, so I'm going to turn the fan on. Okay, now let's actually do the real mission. I put my headphones in, but I don't really have anything to listen to on them, so I don't know why I did. Okay, Bumble Beginnings. I just realized that's the name of the mission. That's adorable. Maybe Mario will meet Buck Bumble eventually. Wouldn't that be something? Oh my god, I think it's raining outside. So, I apologize if it sounds a little noisy in the background now, because I just turned on the fan and I just turned on the fan and now it's raining, so there might be a bit of background noise. It just surprises me that it was raining because I was outside earlier today, just like in my front and backyard, and just it like it was just like it was crystal clear in the skies, and like it was really hot outside. So it's just surprising to me that it's raining now. Like, I did not think in a million years it was gonna rain today. But that's typical, I guess, for it to rain while I'm streaming. Just that no matter how hard I try to make the streams sound and look as good as possible, there's just gonna be rain in the background because I don't have any sort of soundproofing in this room. I don't typically, like, as good as I want my any project of mine to look, I'm always hesitant to invest in stuff like professional lighting equipment and, you know, like an expensive camera or, like, stuff like that. I got this mic as a Christmas present because I was like, oh, you know, I can easily, like, edit stuff and make it look good on my computer as long as I don't include footage of myself, but I want to be able to talk over it most of the time, so having a good mic would be very helpful for that. So I'm very glad to have that, but I just find myself hesitating to invest in certain other things just because not only am I, like, worried that it won't be worth it, just because, like, you know, most of the videos of mine that get more attention are the ones that I put less effort into. So it's just like, you know, if I don't end up using certain things that much, then it'll just be a waste of money. Plus, like, I go back and forth between projects that I want to do, like, pretty often. Like, between, like, you know, YouTube videos and streaming and, like, doing the podcast and, like, making my own games and Photoshop projects and just basically, like, a ton of stuff. Like, my interest, what I'm interested in doing most sort of shifts, pretty rapidly over time. So, you know, I just wouldn't want to, like, buy a really expensive camera and, like, lighting equipment and set everything up to make videos and then just, like, not use it very often. But on the other hand, I feel like that's also sort of a stupid excuse, because I feel like if I did buy that stuff, then that would encourage me to do that stuff more often. I guess it's just, like, you know, a matter of when the time finally comes that I'm, like, ready to spend the money on that sort of thing. We'll see. But for now, I mean, maybe if I do Mario Mayhem again next year, with a different subset of games, maybe I'll have a webcam by then. Who knows? We'll see if I've been willing to invest in it by then. I did say I worry about certain things that I'm doing not getting that much attention, but I also feel like people tend to gravitate towards things with higher production value anyway. So that's also kind of a stupid excuse. So I guess it's just a matter of when I'm willing to invest in it. I did invest last year in a really good gaming PC, and that's been amazing to use so far. But again, I ran into the problem where, like, I have this. I mean, I don't even know for sure if this is the problem, but I have this motherboard that supposedly has faulty USB ports, so it doesn't give my capture card enough power to run, like, you know, present the gameplay smoothly, which is a huge bummer. So I have to still use my old laptop to stream from, and then just use my desktop for Stream Manager. It's a huge bummer that I can't use my. I mean, I can use my PC to stream stuff that's, like, natively on PC, but when it comes to streaming console games, I have to break out my laptop. So, I mean, maybe I can get a fix for that. Hopefully, I mean, that's another thing I'm scared to invest in, because I don't even know for sure if that's even the problem. But I've tried pretty much everything else, so it's like, at this point, I guess that would be my last resort. Plus, I guess I could just refund something if it's not actually, like, what I was, what I needed. But I don't know if I'll be able to get the full amount back if I opened it and tested it and stuff. Mail Toad? A letter. Is it Luigi? Oh, it's a chimp. Remember me? I got a new game over in the Fluffy Bluff Galaxy. Come on by and we'll do the old introductions thing. I want to see what kind of skills you get. What game skills you got. Okay. When does Luigi come? I want to play as Luigi. Alright, only need one more. What galaxy did the chimp say he was in? I don't remember. But I don't think I'm gonna go there yet. I think I'm gonna go to Boulder Bowl because it's the only place in this world that we haven't been yet. Oh yeah, this is where they introduced the whatever it's called, the rock mushroom. That's another pretty cool power-up that's not... It is, again, kind of situational, but I think it's cool because it doesn't last a limited time. And I think Galaxy 1 needed more power-ups like that. Oh, it's just another one that's very satisfying to use. Do I need to just kill all these guys to unlock it? Yeah, there we go. Yay! Now I get to wear very uncomfortable and heavy clothes. Yeah, I don't think you were getting anywhere, pal. Let's get that. Oh, I guess hitting it on the edge doesn't do anything. Uh-oh, it's Mario Bowling. It's technically Wii Bowling, I guess. Oh, no. Come on. Oh my god, there's a lot of them. I guess that makes it more satisfying to beat them, though. Oh. I think that rock is the thing that I'm supposed to destroy. Maybe not. Maybe I need to... Maybe I need to get rid of these. Maybe I just need to get rid of all the pink guys. Oh god, I'm destroying all the fences too, so if I fall off, I'm dead. And you can't really stop unless you hit something, so... Oh shit. Let's just not use the rock mushroom for these guys. Let's just take them out the old-fashioned way, and hopefully that's what we're supposed to do. Alright. Ow. What do you have to say? If you need health, shoot it. Okay. I knew that, but that's helpful that they tell you that one in this game. Oh god. That was a little bit more all over the place than I was expecting. Alright, is this gonna be... Oh, okay. I didn't remember this being the first mission of this galaxy, but I guess it is. Oh. Here he is. He looks like he's been eating a lot of rocks. Like Goron style. Poor guy. He does. This is another one of those ones that just looks like he's like minding his own business before you come in and start freaking spanking him with a rock. Oh, this is fun though. Wait, what? Did I hit something or like? Yeah, none of that. None of that, please. Oh, okay. So don't hit him while he's rolling. Even if you're a rock. Whoa, okay. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Okay. None of that. None of that, please. Oh god, I forgot I didn't have the rock mushroom. Alright, let's not make this the first death of the... Oh my god, dude. Give me the freaking... Ooh! Okay. Go, 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 go! Okay. Come on. No! It's like, you can't stop unless you hit something, but the only thing to hit on the planet is him. Maybe I should just, like, go out of the way and then... Yeah, now we can... There we go. Oh, we need to hit him again? Shit. Is he... Oh god, he's coming back. Okay. Come on. Alright. Let's get rid of you. That's enough. He looks like he's wearing, like... I guess that's supposed to be, like, textured skin. But he looks like he's wearing, like, armor. Like knight armor. Like chainmail.
Oh god, here we are again. In my collection room. Which looks oddly like Count Bleck's lair because of the blackness of it all. At least from this angle. You're not really supposed to see it from this angle most times.
Well now, you found quite a few of those power stars, huh? We'll keep track of how many you got.
His voice keeps changing. I keep, like, every time I see Lava, I do a different voice for him. Because I started using the New York accent more for, like, the chimp. You seem to brought back, was that a rock? Yeah, good work there, pal, I guess. He's like, yeah, good for you. He's just, like, he's just getting more weirded out by Mario the longer he stays on the ship. I like that there's, like, especially because you're using Grand Stars as the power source in the first game, I like that there's sort of a miniaturized version of the beacon inside Starship Mario. I think that's a nice little touch. Alright, who is it this time? Oh, but Honeybee. Wow, even we couldn't get to the star in Honeybloom Galaxy. Oh, thanks. We're gonna give you, another lifetime's worth of life. So, if you were worried about death, that's a non-issue because you got that one thing that we couldn't get. That was out of our reach. So, good for you. Bowser's Lava Lair. Bowser's Lavalier. Bowser's getting into, podcasting. Bowser's Big Lava Power Party. Oh my god. It sounds like fucking Bowser's Big Bean Burrito. Like that's like a level that Donkey would make. Bowser's Big Lava Power Party. I like that the, I said this in Galaxy 1, but I really like that the Bowser levels, like where you actually fight Bowser himself. I like that in the Galaxy games they use a remix of the boss level music from, Mario 64. And they even, like, they already did that in Mario Galaxy 1, but they rearranged it again for Mario Galaxy 2. And I think, as much as I love Galaxy 1's version, I think I honestly prefer Galaxy 2's. Oh god. That was a bad idea! Koopa's Road! That's a good... Yeah, no, that's a good one. And that's in, am I thinking about the car levels in, Oh yeah, no, that's just the name of the song. Okay, yeah, I remember now. I was thinking, when you said Koopa's Road, I was thinking of, the level in 3D World, where he's, like, in the car. Oh god. like just the most literal interpretation of Koopa's Road. I think that's a little bit gruesome that, when you kill a Hammer Brother, you bonk him on the head, and then you squash him, and he just takes a second before he dies. Oh hey, the crowd is cheering me on. Oh god. That's like that yeah, no, that's a dark way to think about it. It's just like the dry bones and stuff, like it's just the Koopa's Road is just a road paved with the many shells of the fallen Koopa soldiers. That's the point where like Mario fans like add on the lore that they wish to see, like the darkness of it all, when you really think about it. Do these guys make the sound? Okay, I want to be quiet so I can hear if they make the sound. Oh, they do! Oh no, I didn't get the Comet Medal. Can I still get it? Wait, maybe if I do a triple jump, I can get it. Oh god. Some of you may die, but there's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Just in case you were wondering how much I care about your life. Yeah, get me in there. Oh, wait. I thought that was like... Oh, okay, no, that's not the actual... entrance to the boss. I was like, because I remember the boss being a, like, it's actually like a wormhole to another section. What are you doing over here, man? No, it's not much, but... Oh, that's okay. It's cool. Oh my god, he said, I'm sorry, it's not a 1-up mushroom, and he's like a green toad. So, like, oh god. Oh, there goes my freaking, perfect run. I think that's my first death in this whole thing. I was just being careless. Yeah, I can see that, Austin. I think it's good that they didn't just redo the Bowser level mechanic from the first game, and I do think that especially if Bowser's going to be big, it's sort of a cool thing to be like ground pounding the meteors at him, because it's like just like sort of a logical way to defeat him. But I do agree with you that sometimes the aiming is a little bit weird, and like, you know, the asteroids come down and he doesn't always punch the ground in an area where you can actually like use the asteroids to reach him. Like, it'll just hit the planet or something. So I do see what you're saying there, but I think the mechanic itself still has merit to it, especially in terms of just differentiating it from Galaxy 1. You know what? Before we actually do that, let's... Oh, we already had that. Good, I wasn't paying attention. Alright, now we get to go to the real level. Or the real boss, I mean. What if it was just like... It would have been so easy for that to just be like a vat of acid, and Mario just like dies as soon as he goes in it, and Bowser's like, okay, the problem solved. But he's like, no, he wants the entertainment. You showed up! I was waiting for you to show up to my freaking big lava power party. Look at you running around like a little flea on a puny planetoid. You know what isn't puny? My massive new power. The power to flatten you like a space pancake. I like that Luma shows up a little bit more in this one as like a side character, like a companion character. Like, he doesn't show up too much other than the beginning and the end of Galaxy 1. Oh boy. I think it's funny to sort of like take the fact that Bowser's talking about how big he is like out of context. I feel like that's something that a lot of people do, and it's a very lowbrow joke to make, but still he's kind of doing it to himself. Like, Mario, I'm so big. Look how big I am. Again, a very lowbrow joke to make, but one that I'm gonna make nonetheless because he's just asking for it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna scream and then do the exact same thing again, like every other Mario boss. You don't adjust your attack strategy, you just do it a little angrier. Oh yeah, you also breathe fire, but you only do that when you're sufficiently pissed off enough. You don't think to do that from the beginning. Oh god. Get him. Okay, yeah, I gotta do it, I think, one more time at least. Oh my god. That voice clip of Bowser is so funny. like just him being like a little bit more angry. I remember I was on a car trip with my family, and I was playing Mario 3D Land, and I was playing one of the Bowser battles, and towards the end, he gets like super pissed at the end of one of the battles, and he just does like this big, like giant scream of a roar. And I was playing with my headphones in, and the car was completely silent, because it was nighttime and everyone was kind of tired. So I in the middle of the fight, like right before he did the big scream, I just turned the volume on my 3DS all the way up, and then everyone in the car just heard "Roar!" And they all got really scared, and it was really funny. They all like jumped. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea for the driver, but I think the people that had the biggest reaction to it was my sisters, which was what I was going for. So it was really funny. And I would do it again. I have no regrets. Other than the fact that if I had scared the driver, I could have caused an actual problem. But there was like, you know, it's okay. Yay, another Grand Star. I forget how many. I think I only got. Well, I got 3 grand stars in Galaxy 1 in the first stream, but the first one was in the very first level, so it doesn't really count. I think I played a few levels in the kitchen before I ended the stream. So, we'll see, I guess, how far we get in World 3. I was hoping that we could be able to beat it. I was planning to stream until 5 today. But it's already been 2 hours now, like almost exactly 2 hours as of right now. So, I guess we'll see. Maybe we won't actually finish World 3, but maybe we'll get far enough in it to feel like we've made substantial progress. Not substantial, that was just a slip of the tongue, I guess. Oh man, World 3 is my favorite world in this whole game. It just has like so many good levels, and the actual overworld music is really nice. And again, out of all of them, I think it feels the most like space. Just like it's like deep space with all the comets going by and stuff like that. Okay, 28. Well, I guess that's not that much, just because you know, there's so many levels. I think there's more levels. I don't know if that's entirely true. It looks like there's more levels in this world than there has been in the past too, so I guess that makes sense. The flotaceous blimp fruit. Oh yeah, this is something that promo art had to clear up for me. Because it's very weird when you look at it from a specific angle. And I might ruin this for some of you watching, but when you get it, like if you turn it this way, okay, you can't. It's not really that much. I just remember thinking, in the first time I watched the first trailer, like when I was a kid, you know, being the immature kid that I was, it's like when you can't see Mario's legs, it sort of looks like he's like half of him is just inside Yoshi's asshole, because he's like floating up on Yoshi's butt. And it's like, obviously, you know, when you can look at it from more angles, like as you're playing the game, it doesn't look like that at all. He's just like floating up on a big balloon. But I just remember the first trailer shot it from such an angle that that's what it looked like to me, like as an immature, like 9 or 10-year-old. So I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Oh, you can make Yoshi hold his breath. I don't think you can do it forever, but it is sort of an unnerving thing, a Mario character, because, like, you know, drowning is like one of the most unsettling ways to die in Mario 64. Oh god. Yeah, I feel like your momentum is a little bit harder to control when you when you're playing a 2D section. I've always sort of, I mean, I can't really even say that I've always felt like that, but oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Just revisiting it now, I just feel like when I try to change directions in one of these sections, it seems a little bit more difficult than it does in when you're just in 3D overworld sections, which is weird because I don't feel like it should feel like that, just because I just played Galaxy 1, and Galaxy 1 has side-scrolling sections that didn't feel like that. But I also don't feel like they would arbitrarily change the side-scrolling mechanics. So I really have no clue why I feel that way about it. Oh god, Yoshi, don't run off the edge. Don't run off the edge. Oh, Yoshi, you fucking idiot. Oh, get back here. No. Why do you feel the need to do that, Yoshi? It's completely and wholly unnecessary. Alright, there we go. I think it's funny how I just noticed this, and like this is like the first time I thought about it, but I think it's funny how they just call your life meter life in this game. but in Mario 64 they call it power because it literally represents like every sort of stat for Mario. Like it represents like, you know, his normal health for any situation, but also like how long he can breathe underwater and that sort of thing. Maybe that's the only other thing it represents, but I just think it's funny that they went from like, you know, this is just like a general power meter to like, yeah, I should have known I wasn't going to be able to fit through there. It went from being a general power meter to just like, no, this is your life force. So if this runs out, you are dead. You are toast. Oh, come on. Just let me make it all the way up. Thank you. Oh my god. He like pops like a balloon when you get the star. Jesus. I mean, maybe he does that when you run out of... I don't think he does that when you run out of air. Maybe he does and I just didn't notice, but it, like, he makes like a freaking balloon popping sound. Like somebody just like poked his stomach with a needle. Jeez. Alright, I think what we'll do, just because I typically tend to try to keep things to 2 hours at a time, unless I'm like playing catch up with a game like I have with Sunshine and Galaxy 1, but oh, good. Oh great, we get to go inside Mario's ear now. But yeah, I typically try to keep things generally around 2 hours. Maybe sometimes I'll go a little bit over. I think I generally have gone over this time. Yeah, you know what? I want to sort of save my star bits for Hungry Lumas, or not that he isn't a Hungry Luma, but you know, ones that actually form levels. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I tend to try to keep my streams like 2 hours generally, more or less. But I think what we'll do here is probably, because we're gonna need to do some backtracking, I'll probably play one mission from each level in World 3 that I can reach right now, and then next time we'll come back and we'll do some backtracking to get further, because that is about the halfway point of the game is World 3. Oh yeah, I also really like, I was saying how I like that that the Galaxy games have a remix of, or a orchestrated version of Koopa Road from Mario 64 as the boss level music. I also really like that the ghost levels in this game, as much as I love the ghost music in Galaxy 1, I really like that this game has a reorchestrated version of I don't know what to call it, remix, reorchestrated, that sort of thing. It just has a newer version of the Ghost House music from Mario World. I think it's Mario World that this song comes from. It's just really cool to hear a modern version of it. And I just love whenever, I mean, newer Mario games revisit like the underground theme and the overworld theme, like pretty much. I don't think there's a single Mario game that doesn't have either one of those tunes in some form. But I also think it's really cool when they go back and revisit certain older songs. Like, I used it in the announcement video for Mario Mayhem. I really love the Mario 3D World remix of the character select screen from Super Mario Bros. 2. I think that's one of the best ones they've done. And there's a handful of others too. But yeah, I just like when they revisit music, because there are certain songs that are really cool. And really memorable from certain other Mario games, so it's cool to not only hear them again, but also hear like a newer, updated version of them. This level mechanic is really awesome too. Like the platforms going in and out of these like little wormholes. I say as I died because of the mechanic, but no, it wasn't because of the mechanic. It was my fault, but you know, I didn't take proper precautions to deal with the mechanic is the right way to go about phrasing that. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm blaming the game for my death. And luckily there's a 1-up right there, so it doesn't even really count for anything other than lost time, which isn't a huge concern of mine right now. Oh god. Okay, note to self, don't long jump on the moving platforms. That's how I died last time. Oh boy, okay. God, I remember. I think it was a Game Informer article because I used to get Game Informer monthly in the mail, and I have another story to tell about Game Informer that I'll tell after. But when Galaxy 2 was announced, I read about it in Game Informer after like watching the announcement trailer and everything, and they had like screenshots and stuff. And I don't remember whether it was that specific article or whether it was just like a rumor that was floating around the internet. I think it was based on something Miyamoto said. But they said they were going to try to make Galaxy 2 more challenging. And that scared me because just like challenging things in games scared me as a kid. Just the fact that something was going to be really hard. Like it made it intimidating to me. I knew I was going to play it anyway. But nowadays, I sort of look back on that quote and I sort of think about it in terms of like the lost levels, because they said, you know, the lost levels was meant for people that played Mario 1 and just wanted an extra challenge, you know, wanted to keep going from there. So it's just, lost levels, even though it was released as Mario 2 in Japan, it was, you know, it was sort of marketed like Super Mario Brothers for super players. Is basically like, you know, it's just if you liked Mario 1 and you wanted more challenging levels, and it's like Miyamoto saying that almost implies that Galaxy 2 is going to be a similar sort of thing for Galaxy fans. Like, you know, it's just more Galaxy for people that want a greater challenge that beat Galaxy 1. And there are certain things about it, I guess, that are like that to a certain extent, but I very much feel like Mario Galaxy 2 warrants being its own game much more than Lost Levels does. Because it has a bunch of new and creative ideas, and I don't really get the sense that this game is more challenging than the first. I never really got that, and I don't think that's a widely accepted sentiment that this game is more challenging. I think they're about the same in terms of difficulty. Obviously, you know, this game has like bonus levels that are more challenging, but so does Galaxy 1. So I never really thought that this game was more challenging, and I think I even forgot about the fact that it was supposed to be more challenging when I played it as a kid for the first time, because I just wasn't thinking about it. Because I was so excited to have a Galaxy sequel. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I thought about that when I died, because I you know, this game generally isn't very challenging to me. But my other story that I said I was going to tell, it's about Game Informer, and basically, it's about why I said I used to get physical Game Informers in the mail every month, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed, like, reading Game Informer articles and reviews and looking at screenshots and that sort of thing, just about any sort of upcoming games. And I honestly, I feel like Smash Brothers, sort of opened my eyes to a lot of other game series, like, it sort of, like, broadened my horizons in terms of what I played, because it introduced me to a lot of new series and characters. But I also feel like Game Informer did that, because they would talk about really cool games in articles or reviews or something, and I'd be like, oh, that looks like a game that I would like to play. And, like, you know, stuff like Nintendo Week on the Nintendo Channel on the Wii, which is very niche now, but, I think that's still a pretty funny thing that Nintendo did. It was a precursor to Nintendo Minute, but I'm getting off topic. So Game Informer I really used to love, and I really used to love reading it, but there was one time, I forget what I was at GameStop for, but I was there and my subscription had expired, because I guess GameStop owns Game Informer. Yeah, so my Game Informer subscription had expired. And the lady at the counter was like, do you want to renew it? And I was like, yes, I do, because I really like Game Informer. I don't remember actually whether it was a lady or a guy. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I was like, yes, I want to renew my subscription. And they were like, okay, do you want the physical version or do you want the digital one? And I think the digital one was like brand new at the time, because I don't even think it was really an option before. And that's probably why I had the physical one in the first place. But yeah, it was just around the time that, like, e-reading was becoming a bigger thing, and, like, so Game Informer had a digital version, and I guess they were probably, like, instructed to sell the digital version because it was, like, a brand new thing and they wanted more people to subscribe to it. Like, the higher-ups, I guess, at the company wanted more people to subscribe to digital Game Informer, because that was like the future. Yeah, so I said, like, no, I want the physical ones, because I really like, you know, like, flipping through the pages and getting it in the mail every month, and, you know, as cool as some of the features of the digital version may be, I still would have much rather preferred to just get a physical book in the mail and read it. And I still do to this day. I still do prefer to. I don't still get Game Informer, unfortunately, but this is part of the reason why, because, you know, I said I wanted the physical version, and they were like, okay, but are you sure? Because the digital version, you know, it has, like, videos and interviews and interactive stuff, and all that shit, and I was like, no, that's okay, I still want the physical one. And again, they were like, are you sure? Because, I mean, nowadays I don't even really entirely blame the employee for this, because they were probably just doing what they were told by the higher-ups, but it was just, like, I probably asked for the physical version, like, 3 or 4 times, and just like, no, I don't want the digital one, I want the physical one, and every time I reassured them that I want the physical one, they were like, are you sure? Like, are you sure about that? Because the digital version is the way to go. And at the end of it, oh, Luigi! I promise I won't neglect you this time like I did with Galaxy. Everyone left me behind. Okay, I guess I already kind of have neglected you. Oops. You decided to look for Power Stars too. Okay, thanks, man. Okay, yeah, but anyway. So I kept saying I wanted the physical one, and they kept selling me on the digital one, so eventually, I didn't say fuck it because I was, like, young. I was, like, there with my parents and stuff, and I didn't curse in general, but, like, you know, if I was my age now, I would have just been like, fuck it, whatever. But I was like, you know what, fine, whatever, I'll just get the digital one. And I don't think I said, like, whatever, but I very much said it in that tone where I made it clear that I was annoyed. I was just like, okay, fine, I'll get the digital one. Because I just felt like I was in, like, a time loop. Like, no matter what, they were just gonna keep trying to sell me on the physical one, no matter how hard I tried to tell them that I wanted the physical one. So I ended up renewing my Game Informer subscription and getting the digital one. And after that, I was like, you know what, maybe this will be for the better, you know? Like, as much as I wanted the physical one, maybe having the digital one will be more convenient, you know? I don't have to take up as much shelf space, and, like, I get the interactive stuff, and I can read it all on my iPad or something like that. And I never read another issue of Game Informer again. I couldn't get into the digital one. I don't like e-reading to this day. I would much rather hold a physical book in my hands and flip through the pages, and I think it's just, I don't know what it is about it, but just personally, that's just a much more enjoyable way to read any book, for me personally. I don't think e-reading is entirely invalid as a format. In fact, I think there's a lot of things you could claim e-reading has over traditional reading, and I wouldn't argue with you, but I just, for whatever reason, I prefer to have a physical copy, and I think that's just as valid. But yeah, you know, I wanted to give digital a chance. I probably read, like, I know I just said I didn't read another issue of Game Informer again, but I mean, like, the next time an issue came out, I read it on the Game Informer app, and I was not nearly as into going through a Game Informer issue digitally as I was physically. Like, having it in my hands, getting it in the mail, that was, like, you know, flipping through the pages, seeing everything, that was just part of the fun for me, and then, like, adding it to my Game Informer collection. And that was just all gone in the digital version. And it's like, it's not like there was even anything radically different other than the fact that it was digital. I was not as into it. I didn't read another Game Informer issue after that, and I didn't bother renewing my subscription at all when the time came around again. Yeah, so it's still a little bit sad, but I still have all my old Game Informer issues. They're still on my shelf, and I still enjoy going back and flipping through the pages, because they're almost like, I think that's another thing I like about the physical ones too, is they're sort of time capsules of the time period in games that they came out. Like, it's just cool to, like, crack open a Game Informer that I've had on the shelf for a while and just see, like, you know, a Mario Galaxy 2 review, or like the first details of the 3DS, or, you know, stuff like that were sort of part of the era that I was subscribed to Game Informer. So yeah, it's really cool that I still have all those issues, but I don't really have any interest in it anymore, which is unfortunate, but also saves me a little bit of money. Alright, how many more levels do we have access to? I think we have at least 2 levels, 1 or 2 levels that we can still play here, before we get to the roadblock that leads to the Bowser Fortress. Oh, Comet, Prankster Comet, is that the first one? I don't know whether, I mean, Lubba will probably tell me about it, yeah. Prankster Comet has been spotted. Prankster Comets can transform a galaxy into a wildly different place. Come to think of it, you've been collecting comet medals, right? Collecting lots of those comet medals makes more comets appear. Now you can work on getting a star for every comet. Go for it, Captain. Cool. A letter, is Luigi gonna... Oh, a letter just to baby Luma. Oh, it's from Rosalina, probably. To my lost Luma. We worry about you, but we know you are safe with your new friend. I hope the item attached is helpful. May the stars shine down on you. I love how Rosalina doesn't even sign it. You can just tell that it's from her. No return address, but I hope that I get to meet this mysterious person soon. Back when Rosalina was still mysterious, remember that, guys? She's still pretty cool today, but I miss when she was a mysterious figure. Oh yeah, we're gonna need 1,000 star bits actually to... Well, how many stars do we have? We have 21. This requires 28. So, since we're already at like 2.5 hours, I think we'll probably do this mission and then call it a day, I think. Just because we're already, like, you know, I have tended to do 3 streams for most 3D Mario games, and we might not need to do that, but I have a feeling the second stream is going to be a little longer. But I feel like we're reaching a good point. 2.5 hours is a pretty good point to stop. Yes, I do want to play as Luigi. You don't even have to ask. Yes. You want me to take... I like the idea that he's just like, hey man, if you're tired, I know you've been like doing this a lot, I can take over for you. I'm a good brother. Hell yeah, Super Luigi Galaxy. I thought it was cool. As cool as it was to be able to play as Luigi in the first game after you 100%ed it, like, I think that's a really cool reward. I think it's... I almost think the way this game handles it is a little bit cooler. I do still kind of wish that you had to 100% the game to play as him all the time, because I think after a certain point he's just like, hey man, you can switch to me whenever. And, like, as cool as that is, you know, it was also cool having that sort of reward for 100%ing the game. Yeah, I mean, it's also... I think it's really cool, the fact that, like, you know, you can just run into him and he's like, hey, you want to play as me for a little bit? Because I really like playing as Luigi. And, it's cool that you don't have to wait until you've actually completed the entire game to be able to play as him. Because it's like, you know, whether or not playing as him is a cool thing to you entirely depends on your interest in playing through the entire game again. And you probably wouldn't want to do that. Like, maybe you would do it for a little bit, just for the sake of playing as Luigi. But you probably wouldn't want to play through the entire game again if you just beat it. Oh, it's a coin Luma. So yeah, I just think it's cool the way that, the way this game handles playing as Luigi. I don't have 30, so... I love he's like, you can bring them here for me to eat. It's like, he's like a little baby. That's cute. Yeah, I think, oh, there's 5 coins right here. But I think I'll probably just do the normal level and then come back later to do the Hungry Luma mission. Cloudy Court's a really cool galaxy, too. It's another one of those ones I feel like it doesn't really feel like a space-themed level. It feels more almost like a 3D world-ish level. But I still think it's really cool, and I really like the Cloud Flower as an ability. So having an entire galaxy dedicated to it is really cool. I love the Whittles, the freaking go down right wind. I don't know. I love them. They're such cute characters, and I wish they were used more. And I've already said all that, but I have to re-emphasize it because they're some of my favorite Mario character designs ever, and they're criminally underutilized. Yeah, I keep doing back somersaults when I'm trying to do a long jump. Do I need 3 clouds to get to the top? I don't think I really do. Oh. Don't mind if I do. I think I'm just gonna come to the bottom because I don't wanna die because I got crushed. I'm more willing to just play it safe than be impatient. Oh god. No! I didn't mean to ground pound! I was trying to do a backflip and... Man, now I gotta do it again. That's fine. 3rd time's the charm. Let's do this. Alright. Cool.
Hey, look, I did it.
A ghost? A ghost? I forget what the ghost... Oh yeah, ghosts lead you to a secret. I forgot about that. Ghosts lead you to a secret star. I didn't even remember that being a thing. Huh.
Hey, bro, I'm all over the place these days, exploring the universe.
Good for you, Luigi. You deserve it.
Next time you see me out there, talk to me and lead me into action, okay? Catch you later, bro.
Cool. I love how part of it comes across as like, you know, he's like, hey, you're tired, let me take over for you for a little bit. And it's like, okay, cool, thanks, man. But also sort of it's sort of like, hey, I want to have an adventure too. Like, you should let me take part of the credit for this. And which is, I think, honestly equally understandable for Luigi. Alright, let's see. I think we only have like 22 stars. Yeah. So I think... Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this a stream for now. I think we've made some pretty good progress. We're almost halfway through the game. So we'll do a little bit of backtracking and make it to World 4 next time and finish the game. We'll only split it into parts if we need to. Which I almost feel like we won't need to, because at this rate, I feel like Part 3 will just be short enough to not warrant being its own thing. But we'll see. We'll play it by ear. So, thank you very much for joining me for Mario Galaxy 2 so far. It's been a great time. I've really enjoyed playing it so far. I can't wait to play the rest of the game, because I know the rest of the... I just love this game so much, and I love pretty much every level in it, and I can't wait to play the rest of them. So today's Friday, so I should be streaming again Monday at 2 p.m. Follow me on Twitter at BagelChris if you want to stay updated just in case that has to change. It shouldn't, but just in case, that's my Twitter if you want to keep up with that. Or, of course, you know, you can follow me and be notified when I go live. If you just want to get the notifications as they come, I guess, is the best way of describing it. But yeah, it should be Monday at 2 p.m. So thank you very much for joining me so far, and I hope to see you back here then. So now I get to get up and turn off the stream on the floor. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.